No. Gonna
play the music. Well, here we are again.
Once again, and for the second week in a row, it is a film that I chose.
Yeah.
And this was much more of a panic decision, and one I immediately regretted, and I continue to regret.
What?
But I'll be interested to see what everyone thought.
It was The Thing.
The Thing.
1982.
John Carpenter's The Thing.
2011, as I got 15 minutes into the 2011 one.
Cool.
And then was like...
What was your opinion of the 2011 one?
Well, it was hard to focus because I kept being like, I'm sure that's that actress. She can't have been alive then. That's insane. He was in Game of Thrones.
A film from the 50s?
I thought it was from the 80s. Yeah.
Okay. That's very good. Wow, these special effects are incredible.
Well, there hadn't been much better. It was just them in the Antarctic, and I was like, that is a very... HD is really... Good job I splashed out for that. HD is really making this 80s film feel like it was made now. Anyway.
So do you have any more deep opinions about the 1982 version?
About the night? I'm sure I do. We'll get into it. I have seen this before.
Okay.
Which makes it even worse that I didn't recognise that it was a different film. Yeah.
Good stuff.
It was brilliant.
Really?
It was amazing.
Wow.
It was very silly, though. It was a silly film.
It was very
It was
silly.
amazing, though.
Gentlemen?
I liked it without thinking. I did not think that it was silly. I enjoyed it. Yes.
Cool.
I also thought it was brilliant, and I also didn't think it was silly. I thought it was a well-crafted film. It wasn't afraid to. It wasn't afraid to be pretty over the top in places, but for me, it wasn't enough to make it laughable. It was enough to make it awesome.
Wow. I did laugh when the head grew legs and scuttled away.
Oh,
and
I
then they
thought that
just
was
burned
horrifying.
It was
Disgusting.
horrifying. A lot of it was disgusting, but at that point I was just like...
Yeah, okay.
That's fun.
I mean, also awesome. That was what I was thinking, not, oh god, this will haunt my nightmares or whatever.
I mean,
It's a
that's
real-
what I got. It's real, sorry.
Indictment of special effects, isn't it? Like, those are the days when you
Yeah.
had puppets
I
and...
felt that.
Just big lump of plasticine,
Yeah.
that's all you need.
Yeah. And it looked real. Because it was real. I don't know what an alien monster looks like, but maybe it looks like that. And it maybe the whole sort of morphing thing, some of the things were obviously like really hard and not squishy like they should have been, but on the whole, yeah. Oh, and it was horrible as well, wasn't it?
It was really horrible.
Disgusting.
So
You
disgusting.
Really
really wanted to
goes
kill
for the
that
body
thing.
horror.
I've had nightmares about stuff like that. Just like weird things growing out of each other that
Yeah.
horrible. They could have ruined that with CGI, which I imagine
They
they
would
did
have done.
in the 2011 version.
Oh, probably. I didn't get to anything like that in my watch. Yeah.
Wow.
Claire?
I thought it was rubbish.
Oh no!
Yeah, it was just gross. And it's like, why did they all have flamethrowers? And just, I don't know. I fell asleep the first time I tried to watch it. And then the second time I sort of drifted away. Lost track. Yeah, I don't know. It was just a bit. It was so disgusting when it was being disgusting. Really gross. And it was just very, like, Kurt Russell's the action hero.
Yeah, I love that.
I didn't recognise Kurt Russell.
me a
It was only when I
flip
saw his name at the end, and I thought, that's a famous name. What else has he done?
That I don't really know either, to be honest.
I don't know.
I only know from this film and one film where he played this character that Snake is based on in The Simpsons. What was that called?
yeah.
Something like in New York,
Yeah.
where New York's now like this quarantined island for, it's basically the prison of America where they just send the criminals, and he gets sent in because the president is in there for some reason. I think his plane crashes there, so he has to go and extract the president. But
he seems like the man for the job.
Brilliant.
yeah,
Based on how much of a hero he is.
it's not
really
Lost in
liked
New
him.
York. That's the Home Alone one. Kurt Russell, Lost in New York. I think that's what it was. My main thought about this film was that it was basically just a game of Mafia.
Yeah, in a really cool way. Yeah.
But they had the test; they could figure it out.
Yeah, I'm glad they eventually figured out that test.
And also, don't hold it in your hand. You
Oh, I know. And he did it again.
It was the what?
Yeah,
He did it again after it went,
he was fearless.
the blood exploded, and then he was like, right, one last test, let's pick it up again.
Let's try this one.
I'll give a sniff while I'm testing it, see if I can smell the evil. Nonsense.
God, maybe leap out of my skin when he went to... Because I thought, like, maybe, it'll bubble and there'll be some horrible stuff will happen, but it just leapt out before he could get to it.
It was horrible.
And that was the only one that wasn't built up.
I know.
That was the only one he was practically doing it as an afterthought while he was talking about something else. Brilliant. Yeah, I loved the whole mafia thing, the whole who can we trust? What's the logical thing to do here? A lot of deduction and, well, we don't trust that person because whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of that, wasn't there?
They could have done a lot more with it,
I think
but I
so.
think they decided not to because they didn't want it to be a cerebral film. They wanted it to be a...
Gory
Yeah.
goop fest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair play to them.
I think I'd rather have watched the alternate version where they all just sat around in the same room and the monster couldn't actually do anything, and then they had to work out who it was somehow.
Yeah. You wanted transference. Oh, what's it called? Coherence.
Coherence, yeah, that's what I wanted.
A film with something like that premise that I think was made with like a $2,000 budget or something,
It's phenomenal.
but was really, really well done. It had people who don't know who to trust. Yeah.
I have questions about the monster.
Okay.
Does it have the thinking capacity of the thing it assimilates, or does it have its own agenda? Obviously it has an agenda to spread, but it seemed like, is it trying to be discovered so that it can get to more? How does it know that there's more land?
Yeah, does it learn
Or maybe I accept
from...
that it's an alien and it knows that Earth is a populated place. But but you know, it seems to do a lot of thinking. There's a lot of sabotage as well, like whoever ripped
it was
McCready's
intelligent somehow. wasn't it?
clothes to try and pin it on him and get him eliminated.
But yeah, it knew things that an alien couldn't possibly know, didn't it? How would it have known to go and destroy the blood bags? It must have done that because it
Yeah.
knew everything its victim knew. That's cool. I wonder, we saw it arriving on the spaceship at the start, and I wonder whether that spaceship was even built by it. Or if that was the spaceship of another spacefaring race that it had already annihilated.
That's interesting. Ooh. Wow.
Yeah.
Also, why did it destroy the helicopter to build a spaceship?
It wanted parts from the helicopter, didn't it? So
But-
that it could build a spaceship and...
Surely it wanted
away.
the spaceship to fly.
Yeah.
Could they not have just taken the helicopter?
Yeah, what do you need a spaceship for? But, yeah, because it was just wanting to fly to, like, somewhere more densely populated, right?
Unless it knew that the
They just used
helicopter
the
couldn't make
helicopter.
that long.
Maybe.
But then, I just don't. Well, who knows? I guess you're comfortable with the vehicle. You know how to drive.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose no one else can drive the spaceship. Only the person who's built the spaceship would know how to deal with it. And Mac knows how to drive the helicopter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did think it was strange that it got rid of ways to transport itself out of the middle of nowhere. That seemed a bit odd. I feel like the thing to do would be to latch on and get out rather than...
Maybe it wasn't that intelligent then. Maybe it just wanted to infect the people around it first. Who knows how this thing works?
But no, then it did have this whole thing where it was trying to freeze itself.
Oh, yeah.
Just so that whoever went and found them would find this thing as well and would be able to, Yeah, I don't know.
I wonder if they thought about it that much.
Maybe they didn't think about it that much. Yeah, stealing helicopter parts to make a bigger helicopter. Who knows what diabolical machine it was creating?
True.
It could have been a spray blood over everyone in the whole of the whole of Asia or something. Machine. Yeah. I loved the idea of, because I don't know, I assume you, like me, naturally assumed when you saw the aircraft, that you saw the spaceship crashing at the start, it was like, this happens, and then a few days later the Antarctic expedition finds it. But that, we reckon, was hundreds of thousands of years earlier.
Yeah.
So long before any humans were in Antarctica. And yeah, it's just the Norwegians that the Swedes that awoke this monstrosity, and that was quite good.
Sweet.
They're Norwegian. Whatever.
He just didn't give a fuck, did he?
No.
True blue American.
I think when that kind of thing had happened to me, I probably wouldn't give a fuck either.
Who were they? Why were they in the Antarctic?
Yeah. Who were they?
Scientists?
There was one that they kept calling Doc,
Yeah.
who was presumably like the physician. Mm-hmm. But they didn't seem to have like experiments or anything set up. They just seemed to be there to blow things
Sort of
up
hanging out.
and play chess.
It was described as the US outpost, wasn't it? So I took that to be a kind of military thing or semi-military thing, where there would have been, some of them were there to keep an eye on the land, but maybe they would have had some researchers as well. They certainly have these huge mainframe computers for some reason that were doing something. Maybe it was research.
Could have been. I think they should know the difference between Norway and Sweden. And they should know that. I think it said Nord or something on the helicopter.
So yes, there are 4 different countries that have outposts on this entire continent. You should probably remember all of them. Cool setting, though.
Yeah.
I thought to start with this was going to be like, you often get this in disaster movies and stuff, you have some remote outpost and that gets wiped out in the first 10 minutes, and then the main story is about some guy in California whose son hates him or whatever, just some bullshit story I don't care about. But the whole thing was about just those people, and that was quite nice. Well, there were about 12 of them, weren't there?
And we can be sure that none of them survived, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because they destroyed their
Yeah.
only hope of survival.
It had a good... It reminded me of Jaws a lot. Did anyone else get that?
No.
It was the same kind of feel to it, that there was this terrifying monster that was mostly out of sight, and all that... There was a bunch of heroic guys doing what they could to survive and to take this thing on, and maybe even sacrifice themselves for the good of humanity. And just gradually, like, the initial hope was presumably we can keep this whole research station functioning, just quickly kill this thing, and by the end it's like we'll settle for destroying everything and killing everyone so long as it doesn't get back to civilization. That reminded me of the orca getting smashed up into pieces, and ultimately the shark is dead and 2 of them just barely make it back to shore alive. And that's what the end reminded me of.
Yeah, some good parallels there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Thank you.
I don't think it had anywhere near the depth of character in this film that Jaws had.
I agree.
But it's not what I needed from it, so don't mind.
Nah. You knew what it was doing. It was good at what it was. It wasn't like, again, these stupid disaster movies like The Day After Tomorrow or War of the Worlds or something where you just want to watch like big buildings falling over and tidal waves killing people. And they give you this nonsense story that goes on for like 2.5 hours about, families, and someone's broken up with their wife or whatever, but then they win them back. You're just not interested. Just kill the alien. Yeah, that was awesome. By this,
that knows what it is.
Yeah. By this, I do not mean to say that I'm glad there were no female characters in it, because that could have made things a bit more interesting in a few ways. But still, a good film.
It was a very manly film.
It was a very manly film.
Well, being eaten, so fine by me.
That also made me think it might have been an army base. Because even in the 80s, you might expect 1 or 2 women to be there. But yeah, good film for what it was. Didn't you love the introduction, the way it started after we had the ship crash? I love just this guy shooting at the dog.
Yeah, that was really
very stressful.
What is this? Why is someone in a helicopter trying to shoot this dog? And I don't know if you felt the same with me. I thought the guy in the helicopter was the baddie.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And the dog was just trying to get away. And it's only quite a lot later on that we really realised that the guy in the helicopter was trying to save humanity. Yeah.
I'm still not sure. Just be shooting at dogs, even if they are.
Even
monstrous aliens.
Going to destroy all life on the planet.
I think I'm okay with it in that case.
Yeah, I'll go for that.
It took me a while actually to figure out that the dog was even when he was putting it away, and I thought, oh no, it's with the other dogs, and that poor dog that's just been shut up with them is going to die.
Okay.
No, it killed all the other dogs.
Yeah, I thought maybe the dog, like, it was quite a turnabout, wasn't that? Yeah, like you, I was thinking this dog is maybe kind of the victim, or it knows something that that all the humans don't. But no, then it just like exploded and sprouted all these vines and ate all the other dogs, and that was. They didn't hide it either. There's a lot of these films, they do a lot of suspense where like the first Alien film, I think you only see the alien on screen for like 1 or 2 minutes in the whole film.
You see plenty of the thing.
You see plenty of the thing. They really went on.
So much of the.
Guess what it looks like? It looks like this. And all these bits are coming out of it. Look closer. This took us ages. Yeah.
Didn't see it. It'll happen again in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I loved it.
I thought that was quite good. The scene with the dog. So before it's, I don't know, infected, is that the word? And it goes into the room with the shadow, just the man on his own. And you just think, oh, that's a bit weird. Like, it was quite ominous the way they only showed the shadow, but it wasn't clear why it was ominous, because you didn't think there was anything bad going on.
Yeah.
And it was just suddenly later, it's like, oh shit, that dog was in the room with that guy for... And I don't even know if you find out you maybe didn't know who the guy was, but I hadn't noticed. You're like, oh, so someone is infected. I thought that was cool.
Okay.
That was good.
That was exciting when they found the destroyed blood banks as well, because it was like, oh, someone is definitely against
Someone's a traitor. Yeah.
I find it very hard to separate out the notions of the people who've been infected from who they were. Like, as soon as I know a character's infected, I'm like, oh, what a bastard.
Yeah, okay.
That guy, gee.
Never liked
write
him.
him out of memory. Traitor to Earth, what a turncoat. It's not their fault. I never remember that.
Not the same way with the dog, though.
Oh no, my God, what a poor innocent dog.
Yeah. I did wonder, like, how do you convince that group of people that you're the one they should listen to.
Yeah.
Because it
There was no
wasn't,
way, right?
Yeah, it wasn't the guy with a gun, because there were loads of guns. It wasn't like...
No one really managed to convince anyone of anything. It was the threat of being blown up by dynamite until they could do the test.
And if he hadn't done that, I think we have to think it would have taken over and killed everyone, right? Yeah.
Do you have to do something insane? That seems a bit insane to...
Well, he didn't convince them with that, did he? He just forced their hand. There's nothing else they could do. Yeah, amazing. I did wonder whether the twist was going to be that, like, they killed it right at the start and none of them were...
Oh, that would be a good twist, wouldn't it?
That would have been a good one.
I mean, people would be really cross at the end.
Oh, I'd have loved that at the end of it.
I don't think many people
Turned
would.
out if they'd killed everyone like one at a time and realised they were all false positives and there were only 2 of them left, and then they worked out that it couldn't possibly have been either of them, something like that. And that
It's a good premise for a film.
Yeah. Well, this might have offered a bit more depth to the story, right? some other meaning.
Head spiders trying to scuttle away from...
There were always more heads. Why were there always more heads? Every time it split, there were just more heads. It was gross.
Disgusting.
And more of that pretend strawberry sauce that you get on ice cream just dripping everywhere.
Oh, there was a lot of strawberry sauce in this film. It was not delicious looking. It was quite satisfying the way they killed it each time as well. They just burned the thing.
Yeah, that was quite satisfying.
Yeah.
You know, they never really let it escape, but somehow it was always still... So it was too late. Someone else had been infected.
Yeah.
But they managed to kill what was right in
Kill
front of them.
it! Kill it with fire!
Yeah.
Yeah. Flamethrower. Awesome. It was an awesome film.
Such a teenage boy film. The flamethrower! Yeah, fire!
Did you enjoy it, Fernando?
I did like it, yes. I also found it scary.
Yep. What kind of scary?
Very scary.
Like it made you jump and go, ah! Or
Yes.
like you lay away in bed that night thinking about it?
Maybe not that type of
Yeah.
Just in the moment.
Yeah. I thought I was the same. Yeah, it was creepy as well. Or, while you're watching the film, like, yeah, again, I don't think it kept me awake like some films have done. But yeah, stuff like, does anyone know what I'm going to say was the best line?
Oh, the best line. I can't remember any of the lines.
There are a lot of lines that were like, eat flamethrower, you motherfucker. And it wasn't one of those.
No, I don't know.
It was something like, go back into the station and wait for the 2 of us. He says, why? Where are we going? We're going to my shack. Why? Because I didn't leave the light on when I left last night. And then they look up and the light's on. What the fuck? Loved it.
Just expected Mrs. Bates to be sitting in the window.
Oh, God, yeah.
They kept split. Oh, sorry.
Sorry. No, go on.
I was just going to say they kept splitting up, which was just so moronic.
Yeah.
It was really annoying. So why are you doing things in pairs? That's the one thing you've established that thing wants you to do. Like, just stop this.
They made a lot of bad decisions. Tying all 3 people up together.
Oh my
Yes.
god.
That went really wrong, didn't it?
It
So
did.
ridiculous. Actually, his line at the end of that was pretty good. I know you guys have got a lot on, and there's a lot on your mind. Unfucking tiny, or whatever.
Well, if you're going to be that way about it, maybe I won't. Yeah, they didn't really hesitate to like kill each other, considering one guy at one point went, I've known him for 10 years. And throughout the whole film, if they suspected one was infected, it was like, well, you're dead to us now.
Yeah.
No nostalgia, no sentimentality about it. Just kill it with the flamethrower.
See, because it's men.
Yeah, it's a
Women
good job
are
it wasn't women, isn't it?
Yeah, none of these
See.
bleeding heart, wishy-washy girls.
Maybe we can tame the monster.
If we try to understand it.
We can change it. It makes a difference. It maybe shouldn't, that they're not getting infected. They're being completely devoured, and a new copy that looks like them is being produced. So it's not even like it's them, it's something that looks like them, but they're already dead and gone. So there's no hope that you could find a cure or anything like that. And they're completely imposters that don't think like the original person.
Yeah.
So that would make me a bit more bloodthirsty.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't take a lot of time to philosophise, though, did they? And think about the nature of it and whether it had taken on the characteristics of its host or anything.
When you say they, you mean anyone involved in making the film.
Yeah. There's a big thing that's got long, gross legs. If it wants. The end.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Oh, it was so gross. I can't believe you guys liked it. I felt so bad all the way through it. I was like, this is
Oh,
so
really?
I can't believe I've made them watch this. It's
Is this
so
the
gross.
first time we've all liked the film except the person who chose it?
I don't know.
I think it might be.
We were
I can't
fairly
remember at
close
the time.
with Lagan, which I thought was pretty crap, but I think at least two of you quite liked.
I liked Lagan.
I quite liked it as well.
I think Claire didn't like Lagan. Though. Yeah, so
I liked
maybe
the
this is
cricket
the first
match.
one.
That 2 hours flew
You
by.
like the second half. This film could have done with more cricket.
Okay.
I love the old computers. There are a lot of old computers.
Nerd.
In it. Yeah. It was in a way that it would have seemed over the top if they'd made it now. And I've been like, yeah, okay, we get it. You're in the 80s and there were old computers, but this is like, that was the state-of-the-art technology. I think the audience was meant to go, wow, these guys are really high-tech. You can play chess against computers these days. Yeah, loved it.
Until you pour your unbranded whiskey. Oh no, sorry. Very much branded whiskey.
Oh, now what was the brand?
JB.
Was that Jim Beam?
Don't know, it's got a bottle that says JB on it.
Yeah, okay. That's good. It made me think of that whiskey they found in the Antarctic recently. Do you remember this? It was a case of whiskey that had been left behind by Ernest Shackleton on one of his sort of slightly ill-fated adventures. He's not the one that died, but he had to leave a whole load of supplies behind once. So this was about 100 years ago, and they recently found this whiskey. And of course, whiskey, if you keep it in a cool, dry place, or at least a very, very cold place, it doesn't go off. So they dug up all these crates and crates of whiskey, and they were perfectly good to drink.
Wow.
And the original manufacturers, which was Johnny Walker's, no, it was White and Mackay, which still exists, they bought some bottles to analyse it and try and see how much their processes had changed, because they don't have any bottles that old anymore. I thought that's cool. And just seeing them drinking whiskey in the Antarctic made me think, I wonder if after this whole thing exploded they left behind a few crates of whiskey somewhere that'll be discovered.
I think he drank it all.
Maybe or poured it all into the computer. That was stupid, wasn't it? What was that supposed to tell us about his character?
He was reckless, isn't it?
He was reckless, but he couldn't possibly have been that reckless, because he'd have just broken everything. Like that could cause a massive fire that would burn down the entire station.
They were using flamethrowers in the building.
Yes.
Next
But
to
that
the
was-
board games.
But they all had the fire extinguishers ready.
Not all the
And that was when it was life and death. No, not all the time. And yeah, that was to destroy that thing, not just because they got upset that a computer had beaten them at chess.
He doesn't like losing.
Oh, there we are.
Okay, that's something.
The computer did cheat, I think. He did say how he cheated.
Yeah, but I took that to be him being a sore loser.
I took it to be true.
Oh, maybe you really did cheat.
Oh, was the computer infected? Was he trying to set fire to the computer?
Oh, maybe that. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Symbolism, 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 symbolism. Maybe his game of chess with the computer was a microcosm.
Oh my god, this is good.
A small, a
I
symbol.
know what microcosm is.
A symbol for the entire adventure that they went on afterwards.
Oh,
it was
the entire universe.
Well, we'll go that. Obviously, the whole film was a metaphor for the entire universe as well.
Everything is.
But yeah, he was playing this game of chess. Having to think things through and work out what was what, and figure out who was bad and who wasn't. And he thought he'd got it all figured out, but ultimately it went wrong, and he ended up destroying everything.
Yeah.
Ended up doing something reckless and destructive. Is that what happened here?
That was some foreshadowing. Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, maybe it was foreshadowing for what happens after the credits roll. What did we think of the ending?
I like
Did you
the
like the
ending,
ending?
but there's also no way that they managed to completely destroy and eradicate that bee. I think it'll freeze.
You remember the ending?
Them just throwing dynamite and then dying and everything collapsing, and then two people, one person that was lost reappears,
Yeah.
and they stay there, and that is it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
he
wait
could be
here.
infected.
Let's wait and see what happens. And they just had no idea how to resolve that sort of standoff. And so I wonder if he ended up... I wonder if the guy at the end there was the chess computer who had finally beaten him. And so he would be about to pour the whiskey on it or desperately try to attack it in vain. Something like that.
Wow.
But certainly the whole thing through was a game of chess, wasn't it? Trying to work out all of the different things that could happen.
Well, I think it was, as we've agreed, a game of Mafia.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
trying to work out what your opponent was thinking.
Yeah.
And try and convince people that it was someone else, like with the torn clothes of McCready. You know,
Oh yeah, the
Trying
torn
to-
clothes. That was good.
trying to be like, it's them.
Yeah, because
They're the baddies. I love Mafia. We should play a game.
It's good, isn't it? We should sometime.
this is why I didn't like the film a bit. 'Cause I hate games like that. I just want to know who the bad guy is, and then we can all just go about our day. I can have a nice snack, and then it's fine.
Yeah. A more sort of Lord of the Rings type person. Everyone knows who's bad and who's not. They have big scary hoods and they
Yeah.
speak Mordor language.
Oh, but Gollum, you don't know whether he's on your side or not.
Yeah, he's the
Morally
subtle, isn't he?
ambiguous.
Lagan, then, where the baddies are all whitening,
Trying to
they have
overthrow
giant
them.
moustaches.
Oh, what? Yeah.
Yeah. What were you saying? the Indians are not the baddies in Lagan. Brilliant. I don't have a lot of other things to say about this film.
Those are my main things.
I liked it, but it
Yeah.
didn't lend itself well to discussion. You could
There's not much
overanalyze
to
something
sift
like
through,
this.
is there?
No, it's a bit like Ghostbusters in that sense. Like, oh, that was fun. I enjoyed that. Let's carry on.
Yeah.
Except there's a flamethrower on the back, not a ghost capture
Yeah.
machine. Yeah. I've got a note that it was very light at the beginning because it was all the snow scenes and it was all like out in the open and very bright. But then once they got to their Norwegian base and they realised something sinister was going on, everything was like really dark and stormy from then on. I thought that was good.
And they're far enough south that could actually be what happened, right? Like, that could be when the sun set and just didn't come up again for another 4 months. good thinking.
So that's the only actual note I've got, except it's so gross.
Yeah.
Stop splitting up. For fuck's sake, pairs are the worst way to move around.
That was such a bad idea.
What on earth did he expect to hear through that massive jacket? She's like, oh, you stopped breathing. Like, bugger off.
Very good.
Mostly things like that I've got written down. That.
I guess the alien faked a heart attack to get people to come over.
Oh, that's clever.
That's clever. Oh, it's devious.
Definitely.
Which means it understands empathy.
Yeah, well, yeah, it must just understand everything its subjects understand.
In which case, you can't just kill it.
It's sentient.
Yeah, well, there are certain sentient things that it's okay to kill, I think. This would be one of them. Yeah. Go on, here's one final question. We have not seen the 2011 remake. Mm-hmm. What would you do differently if you were remaking it now? Keep it exactly the same.
I would not remake it.
Oh, yeah. Sensible.
What would I do? That's a good question. Very good question.
My suggestion would be make it cleverer, where you have to work out who it is and they have to deduce things that they can, make it a bit more cerebral.
I think it was too clever. Too clever for its own good.
Too clever already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There should be no thinking whatsoever.
More blowing up, yeah.
I don't want to see anyone trying to figure anything out.
Yeah. Well, you could do a fan edit where you just cut out all the bits of people talking.
No, I'm just being silly. More women?
Thought so. More women,
That would be
yeah.
nice. Maybe.
More than zero. Yeah.
Computer had a female
Any
voice. Cheating bitch.
All women.
All women. Ooh.
All women except the chess computer.
Just like Charlie's Angels.
Yes.
Yes, the
I
computer's
haven't
called
seen
Charlie.
Charlie's Angels.
Have we not?
No, it's a good.
No.
I'll give it a
It's
miss.
got its charm.
Cool.
Wait, you do not like it? I loved it.
I do quite like it, but it's a shit film.
Well, I
Okay.
disagree.
Maybe I haven't seen the original in a while. I've only seen Reloaded or Full Throttle or whatever the sequel is called.
It's reloaded.
The Lost World.
Yeah.
Charlie's Angels and the Temple of Doom.
Yeah, where's this is all female remake, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
I reckon
Thing,
there could be
all
something in
female
that.
remake.
Yeah.
Oh, there'd be more high-pitched, unnecessary screaming though, wouldn't there? Because they would just play to annoying stereotypes.
No, they'd go the other way. Have them act way more straightforward than the men.
We'd have them just sit down and make a plan
Yeah.
and say, right, we can test for this.
Get all the different coloured pencils and
Yeah.
trade in who was going to do what.
Yeah.
How about we forget the whole thing and have a lovely cup of tea?
Ah, splendid.
Not when you can have whiskey straight from the bottle. And use a flamethrower to heat up a wire. Because you didn't have matches around.
I think it was a good idea to have the flamethrower in your hand ready to go. That was a good
It wasn't though,
precaution.
was it?
No, it wasn't
Well, bloody
after
hell.
all.
He'd wasted all that gas on his bloody wire.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
Any final thoughts? Shall I play the music?
I don't have any.
No. That'll do. Any last thoughts, Fernando?
Instead of all female, it should be all gender non-conforming.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
I like it. Secret Film Club. Last 60 days. Oh my god.
What?
Last 60 days. It's been listened to on 5 devices. This is just Apple Podcasts on the Apple Podcasts app. 5 devices have listened to it for a total of 45 hours.
What?
That is not just over 9 hours per device. That's since the 5th of January.
That's quite a lot, isn't it?
That's more than I've ever seen.
That's someone catching up with the whole series.
It could be, couldn't it?
Oh my god.
Our total runtime, if we've got about a bit less than an hour per podcast, and we've got about 30 episodes up, that must be more than one person listening. We have at least 5 people that we don't know about who are listening to this.
Maybe.
Well, I think
Mad people.